So you're a member of the 996 Hate Club. Their headlights are ugly. It's the first water-cooled monstrosity and oh, the horrors of the IMS bearing. It's okay, because I was one too. Until I drove this one. So here she is. This is our 2001 996 GT2 Clubsport. Why is this a future collectible? You see, unlike the Clubsport program of today, which is by all means a fantastic program, the 996 and 997 Clubsport generations were meant for the gentleman racer that wanted to drive to the track, truly go into some sort of an FIA sanctioned race, and take the car back home. And that's exactly what this car is. So, what differentiates a GT2 Clubsport from a regular GT2? Besides the obvious factor that these cars were only meant for the European market and not for the US, one of the first things you'll realize on these cars is the fact that they came from the factory from Porsche with their Schroth harnesses, fire retardant fabric Recaro bucket seats, and a full factory roll cage from Porsche. In addition to that, it came with a kill switch and fire extinguishing system as well. As if this car wasn't cool enough, this car has an almanac worth of stuff just for this example. The previous owner who tracked it, and yes, you should track your Clubsports, you pansies, don't store them and put them away for years to come, enjoy them. The previous owner went ahead and had custom two-piece rotors made for the car from Wrightwood Racing. What does that mean? You see, the original GT2s came with 350mm discs in the front. These brakes are actually 360mm in diameter. And because he had 360mm custom brake rotors made, he didn't just stop there. He went ahead and improved the braking by having actual Padgett RS braking pads installed onto the car on all four corners. Considering the brake bias on these cars is mostly in the front as opposed to the rear is running its original GT2 rotors. However, it is running with the upgraded Padgett material with no problems whatsoever. So considering the Clubsport package was a motorsport-oriented car, this car came with a Porsche factory roll cage that upon delivery only the rear was installed, so the dealerships would have to complete the assembly for the front. You have the other obvious harnesses that are installed into the car. This car was originally ordered with red leather interior, but upon selection of the Clubsport package, that pretty much gets deleted, and you get these Recaro buckets with flame retardant material installed instead. Now, the Schroth harnesses are obviously not the only belts that you have in the car. Instead, you also have 3-point harnesses for regular street driving in Indian red, which is a fantastic complement and matches pretty well with the Schroth harness material. And then on top of that, in the back, behind the cage and behind the passenger seat is where you would have your fire extinguishing system. All of that comes included with the Clubsport package, on top of the fact that in the front, you have a kill switch meant for motorsports activities. Now moving to the back, we come across the engine. The GT2 was an incredible car. It made around 460 horsepower, which was way more than what the turbo was making at the time, and approximately 620 newton meters of torque. It was a much more raw vehicle, meaning that it was far more connected to the road, and there was little to no limitations at all electronically for driver stability and traction control systems in the car. And as previously stated, this car comes with tons of records, dating back to the original emails from the previous owner to Bruce Canepa, the man responsible for importing this car. And as far as 996s are concerned, I think that this is it. You see, the 996 GT2 isn't just a good 996. It's the pinnacle. It's the 996 that brings it around full circle. It's Hans Mezger's legacy wrapping up this chapter in Porsche's history, ready to make new leaps in the 997 generation. It's more than an iconic flat six that sings as it revs, it's one that is turbocharged, just like the beginning of its bloodline. It's the catharsis, one for those longing to establish the 996's legacy. Therefore, a must-have in any collection of true Porsche enthusiasm.